Hello students, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Before we start, you should have your books, notebooks, and pens ready with you. It's English 808, Project Success 2, Grade 11, Second Semester, Unit 8, Lesson 3, Identify Pertinent Information. Let's start with our objectives. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to read for specific information and identify vocabs and their meanings. It's reading time. Read the following paragraph and answer the questions. Let's read the paragraph together. Do you know the rights and duties of the tenant? If you rent an accommodation, you have the right to enjoy it and can therefore invite whomever you want. The use of premises is according to what is defined in your rental contract. But beware, your status also involves duties and not only that of paying your rent. For a good tenant-lessor relationship, it's better to know your rights as much as your duties. The first obligation of the tenant is to pay his rent and expenses on the date mentioned on the rental contract. If this condition is not met, the lessor may not renew the lease, or worse, initiate a legal procedure known as rental eviction. The latter is long, tedious, expensive, and entirely at the expense of the tenant who pays badly. The second obligation of the tenant is to respect the premises in which he lives. That is to say, he must maintain the property from floor to ceiling. The third obligation, the tenant must use the apartment or the house for the purposes specified in the rental contract. No need to think of tearing down a wall and risk prosecution. What are the renter's rights? If the tenant has duties, that of paying his rent ahead of every month, he also has rights. Do you know them all? The tenant has the exclusive enjoyment of accommodation made available to him for rental. That is to say that he can live there freely if he respects the lease and its rules. If you are a tenant, you are authorized, for example, to arrange your property, use the premises according to the orientation of the lease, invite whoever you want, host whoever you want, paint your place for refresh. Read and answer the following questions. Number 1. Find a word in the text that is the synonym of renter. 2. Have the premises according to the use defined in your rental contract. The word premises here means argument, term, or property. 3. What does the pronoun it in line 1 refer to? 4. What does the latter in line 7 refer to? 5. The renter can do any changes he or she likes in the place where she or he lives. True or false? And now you can check your answers. Match the underlined words in the text with their meanings in the table. You have 5 words. The first word is accommodation. The second word is mention. The third word is expense. The fourth word is head. And the last word is orientation. Let's read the definition. 1. The cost incurred in or required for something. 2. The beginning of something. 3. A room, group of rooms, or building in which someone may live or stay. 4. Refer to something briefly and without going into detail. 5. The beginning of something. Here is the model answer, and you can check your answers. Read and put T for true or F for false. Let's read the sentences together. You can't invite whomever you want in your accommodation. The use of premises is according to what is defined in your rental contract. As a tenant, it's better to know your rights as much as your duties. You can pay rent and expenses whenever you can. The lessor must always renew your lease regardless of your behaviors as a tenant. The tenant has to respect the premises in which he lives in. The tenant must use the apartment for the purposes specified in the rental contract. Tenants can't paint their place as they please. And now check your answers. It's the end of the lesson. Thank you for your attention and hard work.